Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Tuesday, July 10th. So we beat the rain yesterday on getting the hay in, so that was good. But it was a long, hot day. The humidity was a killer. So what are we talking about today? At the end of the day, like in any business, you have to make money. And if you're not making money at the end of the day, then are you making really good money on some days? And maybe none at all are going backwards on some days. So then the question is, do I need to make money every day, or do I need to make money at the end of the week or at the end of the month? It all depends upon your situation and what depth you want to go into it. So hang tight. Alrighty, so welcome back. My name is Eric, if you didn't already know it, and this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Tuesday. And we're talking about money. Because that's what it boils down to is if you're going to be in business, where are you going to get the money? Where's the money coming from? And there's so many things that go into that, like how much do I charge an hour? If I charge too much, I'll lose that segment of my business. And if I charge too little, I'll end up with not making any money and also getting the bottom of the barrel I call customers that you don't want. So you have to find that happy medium. And if you're just starting out, I've said this before. If you're first starting out, you can't learn on the back of your customers. And what does that mean, right? Well, it means that if you're going to take and run a business, you need to have experience. You need to learn, right? And it's one thing if you're taking over a business that's already been in business for numerous years, you buy out someone else. Or if you're starting from scratch. Most people I know are starting from scratch. They're taking a hobby, something they're doing in their spare time, and turning it into something more. And it could be, you guys or gals that are, at the end of the month, your regular paycheck from your regular job is just covering the bills and that's it. And you're not getting anything extra, The extras like being able to go camping for a week vacation this summer or, whatever floats your boat. So you have to get income from somewhere. And so I'm going to kind of try to cover each one. And we'll start with the lowest of lowest. And I'm not saying low life. I'm saying the lowest group, that are doing these small engine repairs. What I'm saying is you have the lowest is the person that is fixing, like I have a young man that lives just up the road, and his name is Eric, and he's autistic, and he has mental health issues, anger problems, and he was a janitor for a while at the school, but I think his anger got the best of him, and he started working odd jobs, but he can't drive. He doesn't have a license. He still lives with his mother. And he's learning how to do this mostly with family and friends, all right? But he's still doing it. And I know I could probably name 4 people off the top of my head that are in that category. that are doing it, but the only work they're getting is from family and friends. They don't have the business developed where they're building a customer base. Because right now he's learning. He's learning how he does very well if you leave him alone. He's by himself and he's got a set of tools. And he can take apart just about anything. And if, there for a while, he was bombarding me with questions, and Claude Knight stopped, take a look, see what he had tore apart and what the issue was, and make it a teachable moment. And for you guys that are like Claude and I that do have experience, if you can provide that teachable moment for others, I think it says a lot about you, and I think it also, for me anyways, it's that satisfaction of helping others. And I know he appreciates it. That's the biggest thing, is you don't mind doing stuff for people that appreciate. But you got to draw the line somewhere. You can't waste all your time when you should be working on customers' machines on the phone or up there looking at Eric's mess that he's got himself into. So that's level 1. Level 2. Level 2 is the guys that have a lawn care business. All right. And their primary income is from mowing yards, trimming, leaf blowing the grass off the sidewalks and all that, and then snow removal in the wintertime. But at this level 2 stage, these guys are starting to do their own repairs. They're keeping it in-house. And why is that? It's because a lot of the shops have come to just charging phenomenal. And if you can get away with it, you can get away with it, right? But that's level 2. They're not serious mechanics. They're serious lawn care guys that know how to kick ass when it comes to doing great lawn care. But they're mediocre at best, most are, at trying to fix their own equipment. And it's somewhere there's a trade-off. If you can get a guy on your staff, I call it, payroll, and he's got mechanical skills, that's a game changer for you, right? Because he already knows how to do all this crap. But he can also mow yards. So if you have somebody like that is a lawnmower repair guy that, either gave up the trying to do it himself or working for somebody else, he wanted to change the pace, make sure you pay him right. Because if you can get somebody like that for your lawn care business, if you're pretty good size where you're running 8, 10, 12 zero turns, or the right-on zero turns, I call them, that's phenomenal. All right. So that's the level 2 guys and gals. I don't want to excuse you gals. Christine joined the channel. All right, so we've got that. So what's level 3? Level 3, I would have to say, is the guy that just wants to be able to fix his own stuff, or gal. And good chances are, they're watching videos on YouTube, like mine, hopefully, that tell you and show you how to fix stuff. And you've got the time. And that's the big thing, is having the time. Because if you don't have time, you got to pay somebody to do it, right? Time is money. If you don't have the money, then you need to make time to do it yourself. So that's the third level of those guys that are, working another job, but they're doing their own thing, and they're the DIY guys, all right? Level 4. Level 4 are the guys that are doing it weekends and nights to do one of two things. Either provide extra income into the household or to start a small business, like I've explained that you should, building your customer base, not learning off the customer's backs. You're charging a reasonable price. But the big thing right now is you're building the base. You're building a group of people that will become your future customers. And the quality work has to be there. And when I say you can't learn off someone's back, you take someone like Jason that could take 10 minutes to do a job. It may take you 2 hours. So who's worth more, you or Jason? Well, Jason is, because he can knock it out quicker. And you're learning. So if it took you 2 hours, it's something that you either hadn't seen before or you're watching YouTube videos on how to fix it. You're trying to learn. So I call that the learning phase. So, you want to stick at the $20, $30 an hour most, max, while you're in that phase. And then level 5 is the ones that are actually repairing units full time. And the level 5 can vary from a small mom and pop's repair shop to a larger commercial repair facility. And the larger commercial usually is a dealership, and they're selling, whole goods. Like for John Deere, they've got the whole lawn and garden with the compacts and so forth. With us, we can sell Kubota. We can sell Cub Cadet, Troy-Bilt. There's a number of ones. But I turned down the floor plan because I'm not a keen person on floor planning because of my location. My location is out in the rural farmlands. And if you're not in town, it's hard to sell whole goods, when it comes to that. So we concentrated on parts. We still do carry parts and repairs. And I'll be honest with you, we upped our repair shop number this year to 55, and that's still cheap by most standards. So that brings us back to you have to make money either on a daily basis, weekly basis, or monthly basis, or the end of the year, right? The goal is to come out where you're in the blue. And the more debt load you carry, the more you need to bring in to reach that number to put you into the blue, right? And a lot of problems develop because people don't know what to charge. And an example is, you got the guy is billing his customer base, but he's not charging a markup on the parts. All right, he's just collecting his labor. Now, with his labor, he's got hopefully low overhead because either he's gone to Harbor Freight and bought some tools, or he's had tools for years because he's worked on cars and this and that, If you can do it without marking up parts, that's fine. As long as at the end of the day, you're making money. And at the end of the week, at the end of the month, for you guys that are, trying to build that customer base, it's probably going to be on a weekly basis because as you're building, you may only do like 2 or 3 machines for the week, right? but your time is worth something, and you need to develop, what your bills are and, what's going out so you know how much you got to have coming in. And you can only go just so long with more going out than coming in, right? If you start going backwards, then we got serious problems with your business plan, right? But you can go to extremes. And I just had another one. I went to my grandson's birthday party last Saturday, and one of my customers was there. And he was telling me about his mom and the latest with her lawnmower. And she owns, a couple-year-old John Deere, all right? And she bought it from the John Deere dealership. Now, she sent it in to have it serviced for the year. Just a general service. Change the oil, grease, check blades, check belts, pulleys, blow off the deck, But for coming and getting it and bringing it back and doing a general service, which only included they did an oil change on it, and then they said this one belt was bad. All right? So they replaced the belt. $714 to do an oil change the belt. Guess where my customer's mom is going next year? Yeah. Us. Because not only did they charge her that amount, but she had it home for 3 days. And it blew a belt. I know, you're thinking, right? All right, so what they did was they charged another pickup fee. And supposedly it was the belt that they had changed. It was just weather checked. It was old. 3 years old. And she doesn't mow that big of a yard. So they charged her for another belt, another pickup and drop off, and she paid the bill on the first one. She wanted to know when she could have her lawnmower. And the guy at the service counter said, we need to have the bill paid before we can deliver it. And she's like, I already paid the first bill. I'm going to pay the second bill. How much is the second bill? Well, we haven't figured it out yet because we're trying to figure out if there's a bad pulley. See, now that throws red flags when I start hearing that. That means they're trying to cover thy ass. That means they threw a new belt on, or they said they threw a new belt on when they didn't throw a new belt on. And you have shady service departments, and you have, Premier. And hopefully you get the Premier, because, the same thing with, I mentioned another video with a four-wheeler that a customer of ours had. Took it back to where he bought it new, and they charged him over $700 for a freaking battery to replace the battery. They said they had to do a bunch of testing first, but it's the battery, stupid. All right, so I'm going to start wrapping this up. But the main thing is, no matter what level you're at, the do-it-yourselfers, you're not looking to make money. You're just having something to, fix your own stuff, or tinker here and there, and you might get a few bucks out of it, but you're not looking for it, right? So your next level up is the guys that are working nights and weekends. You have to keep good, even if it's just paper and pen, and putting down everything you've done, what parts you've bought, how much they were, and because what ends up happening is, if it still happens with us, and we have two sheets. One sheet is just simply for a mechanic to write down any parts that they put into that machine. And more than once, we've forgot to put down an oil filter. Well, an oil filter is $8 at our shop. So if one of us forget to put the oil filter, we're out $8. You know, or you don't charge. You had to put a little longer time than what you thought you should have. So you don't bill the customer for that extra time. Well, you need to, because that extra time should have been on somebody else's machine. It's unless you're doing a do-over. And a do-over it'd be like my customer's mom. If that machine came into our shop and we put a new belt on, we've checked all the pulleys. We've checked the tighteners. We've checked. We leveled the decks. We do all that. And can you miss things once in a while? Yeah. But it's when you start getting lazy or you're getting overworked where you're just trying to, spring of the year is hard because you just try to pump them out. Customers want their machines. But in her case, in my shop, it would have been a do-over. If there's a pulley bad on that machine, we should have caught it when it was in here. And the second belt would never have been an issue, nor the second pickup and drop off. And I'm going to say that they're probably somewhere right around $500-600 they're going to ask. And now you've got, $1,100 to $1,200 on a general service. And that's just not right. So those are things to keep in mind. If you have any comments, or any questions on what I'm talking about, to go further in depth on, leave it in the comments. I read all the comments and I do comment on the comments. So on that note, you guys have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you here bright and early tomorrow morning. Thanks so much for watching.